if you are in America and you care about anything that has to do with finances, what Biden did yesterday should greatly freak you out. As of yesterday, Biden signed an executive order leading to digital currency creation. Now, this isn't cryptocurrency, but it's a U.S. digital currency. So it is the U.S. central bank digital currency. What does that mean? Now, he signed a bill saying that we were going to research and develop this U.S. currency and figure it out. Now, many people I've been reading today and listening to a lot of people that are way more informed on this than I am, they're thinking that it could be anywhere from 12 to 18 months till this could come into play. Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's not that long, really.
No, that's quick.
That's quick. So what does this mean? So he signed on Wednesday instructing the federal government to explore possible uses and regulations for digital assets like cryptocurrencies. Why would you regulate cryptocurrencies? Well, you would regulate cryptocurrencies because you have something you want to put in the place of a cryptocurrency, which would be the new U.S. digital dollar.
And because cryptocurrencies are currently being used as an alternative means to the U.S. dollar, which people are seeing as not a very good place to have your money right now.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Your U.S. dollar drops in value every 2 seconds. And while we've been on the show, you've already probably lost, $50. But what's happening is he's now authorized the government to do research into not just what this CBDC is actually going to be, but the regulatory effects of that. Now, I want to just take this a few steps further. They're trying to eliminate the dollar. We know that. They're trying to make it's the reserve currency for oil. Well, because we cut off the Russian supply, what did Russia do? They went off of the dollar, the petrodollar, and they went to the yen. They went to China. So billions of dollars that we would, and we also took them off the SWIFT, which is how we exchange money globally. So we kicked them off. Putin, you can't be on SWIFT anymore. So now when we pay Putin for anything, because even though may not be importing oil, we're buying stuff, we can't go through the SWIFT and use dollars. We have to convert our money to rubles or yen to get it to them, which means we're losing value. Okay. So now billions of dollars are now going to be flooding back to America, which means our dollar's worth less.
Right.
Because there's more of them, it's worth less. Well, we've already got inflation. I believe this is going to lead to hyperinflation. This is going to just jack up everything that's going on even more as this goes on. And there was a report today that India was going to do the same thing. There's more billions of dollars that are sitting in India. They're all going to come flooding back home. And the reason why this is important is because if the dollar, back in the fall of other countries, when their dollars fall, it takes a wheelbarrow to get a loaf of bread, right? Because they aren't worth anything. Well, if that happens here, the only way to reset the system is to go to a different currency, which would be what he's talking about, CBDC, unless you're in crypto, which they're going to try and regulate you out of. So my point in all of this is that the president made a huge step toward creating a digital currency for the United States to replace the dollar as he's tanking the dollar by these decisions. And it's all predictable. It's just numbers. You have more dollars come back, they're worth less. So what I'm asking people to do is do your due diligence on what could happen if the United States Central Bank digital currency comes into play. And I want to ask you fellows this question. If this U.S. Central Bank digital currency would be implemented tomorrow, and the dollar that you carry in your wallet is no longer accepted anywhere in the country. In Australia, they're doing away with banks and ATMs.
Yep.
Thousands of them gone off the streets. They just took them out at night. They're gone. You can't go to the bank anymore.
Yep.
If that would happen here, what would the consequences of having a U.S. central bank digital currency be to the average American?
Well, if you're asking me, just based on everything that I've heard and read about all this, it's going to very much standardize what you can have in your bank, your digital bank account. I feel like it would take away strategic saving and investing and things like that out of your own bank accounts because you won't have them anymore.
Correct. I can side with that.
Okay.
I think it takes, go ahead, Nate. I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I think it will show everybody here in America that what happened in Canada happens to every single person here. Because no matter, even if you're left leaning, you're going to disagree with them somewhere. And the first thing they're going to do is threaten to take away your money.
I don't even think they're going to threaten.
No, they just do it. You won't even know it.
You won't even know it. You'll just go with your phone
You'll go to scan
your phone and it'll be empty.
Yeah.
So not only is digital currency, we know that the Great Reset is all about the financial markets and getting to a one world currency. So my concern is this: if we lose the dollar, we lose our right to vote. We vote where we eat.
Oh, yeah.
We vote. Okay. So now if you have a digital currency on your phone that is run by the federal government and they don't want anybody in Ohio or California to have a big gulp, your digital currency will not work at the big gulp store.
Yeah. Yep. That's okay. So you're just completely controlled.
Everything is controlled.
You can't, you have no means of purchasing anything the government doesn't want you to purchase.
Exactly. And they can control whether you put gas in your car or whether you pay the electric. They control all of it because this isn't cryptocurrency that was mined and all that stuff and held in some, no, this is the federal government. This is the federal government currency.
So I think it's important to note that we talked about something before the show like this. This sounds kind of crazy. It sounds a little bit conspiracy theory, but it's an executive order. Yeah. President Biden signed an executive order to do the research and development of this currency. And I would argue that the research has already been done. This is the executive orders for the development of this.
Yeah. I would agree with
my
that.
argument. I love how they word it. Research and development. Research has already been done. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. It all came from the graduation documents that he received at the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, right.
When he graduated from the class about tearing down the world, this was part of it. But I think that we all have to understand, and I'm not trying to be a downer, but we all have to understand that if the federal government creates a digital currency, I don't want to say the other word, but if they do, then you have no freedom at all to do anything. You don't get to keep your house. You don't have ownership of anything. Remember what the Great Reset said? By 2030, you will own nothing.
Yep.
How do you own nothing? I don't have a mortgage on my house. What do you mean you don't have a mortgage on your house? Well, we're just going to take away your digital currency. You can't pay your taxes. We're going to take your house back.
Yep.
Yeah, and they will control what sort of jobs you can have.
Exactly.
We won't be allowed to make money doing this.
Yeah.
By any stretch will we be allowed to.
Right. And so that is my biggest concern. And I think that even the people that think that we're whacked out on this segment of our episode, you need to pay attention. You need to pay attention.
So here, this is from, where is this? This is an NBC News article.
Yes.
Okay. That we're reading from. So one of the additional benefits of the digital currency they're talking about is negative interest rates. This is the one part that kind of goes along with the control thing, that they can just do whatever they want. That really stuck out to me. It says controlling interest rates is the Fed's primary way to stimulate or cool the economy, but it comes with limits. Banks can drop interest rates on regular money only so low, known as the zero bound, leaving central banks with few options when interest rates are already low and the economy needs a boost. With a digital currency, the zero bound does not exist, allowing for aggressive action when needed. This is from the NBC News article. If the cash is electronic, the government can just erase 2% of your money every year. I think this is going to become a necessity just because of the demographic changes in the world.
Yep.
Stop printing money.
Oh my gosh. They're just going to erase money out of your
2%
out of your account because they need it.
They need it.
And something that sticks out to me in the article is You can see how they're already starting to package it to look all nice and pretty for people. It says a digital currency could make the kind of stimulus payments of the coronavirus pandemic nearly instantaneous and far more efficient. He said possibly even reaching people who have previously been shut out of banking services.
So the loan sharks on the corner at the Quick and Cash or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're going to be. 38% interest rate. You have to pay us 38% and you got to give us $10 every Friday until you pay it back because we don't trust you. You're a conservative. But then other people get to get loans for 0% because they're persecuted.
Because they're okay with the
right
parental rights and education.
Right. Exactly.
Opposed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my biggest point in this segment is be aware, understand what they're doing, and do your best to keep your money out of institutions that side with this nonsense. Get to credit unions, get to places, put your money in places that are not regulated by this craziness, and do your research on blockchain and cryptocurrency and all of that. Just do your research. I'm not giving advice. Just do your research.
Well, and if crypto is going to be regulated by the federal government, I mean, what does that do to everybody who's got crypto investments?
Well, you could look at that as a negative or positive. I think you're going to see a hyper bump in crypto is going to go through the roof because that's my prediction, but I'm not giving financial advice. But I think that if the government start regulating cryptocurrency, it is a complete paradigm shift from what they talk about now. Right now, you're all kooks for doing crypto. But if they start regulating it, you just legitimized the crypto.
That's true.
So if you legitimize crypto, what's everybody going to do?
Go to crypto. Yeah. Okay.
I think that we're yet to see. I think we're yet to see a hyper push in the crypto, not because people are out there buying crypto, but because governments are going to now, instead of, I mean, they've peed on people that buy crypto for years. Like, you're all nuts, right? Yeah. I mean, the governments have said you're all crazy for buying crypto. But when they actually put a regulation on it, now they're saying it's a real deal or we wouldn't have to regulate it. Well, then once it becomes a real deal, everybody's going to buy it. It's going to be what everybody goes to. And I'm not saying that that's good or that's bad. I'm just saying
that's probably what's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen because now you've said you're not an idiot, but because you did this, we got to regulate you because it was probably a smart move. I'm just saying, I think that we could see a hyper bump in crypto before this U.S. central bank digital currency would be even implemented because Biden has said he's going to regulate crypto. So I think we're in this place of if you think that your dollar in your savings account is going to be worth something, think again. It's probably not. And just like we talked about going to the grocery store, that $1 doesn't go as much anymore. And it's going to continue to go that way because now we're going to get billions of dollars back from these decisions overseas. And it's going to create I believe it could tend to create hyperinflation and people running to other solutions like land, like Rolexes, whatever, food.
Yeah.
People have to run to that stuff because it's the only thing that is sustainable. And so, if the dollar is worth $1 today and 85 cents tomorrow, you better get it in something that's worth $1 right now. And so people are running to crypto and other things. I just think that this was probably, out of all the things we talked about today, this article is probably the most impactful for our listening audience to really get your head around that this digital currency is to control, not to give you access to more money.
Well, I think it was a good way to end the show because we started the show with what's going to be impacted with all the barrels of oil not being imported in the United States. That's going to affect you.
Right.
And then we're ending on pay attention to this digital currency situation because this is serious stuff.
You remember how the left was so angry when President Trump would do an executive order?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I'm just being honest. I haven't heard many people. I know a lot of people in the crypto space are talking about it, but not many on the right are talking about this move that he made yesterday. This is a big deal.
Because every news outlet is turned to Russia right now and Ukraine.
Right, but and he's doing these executive orders that are literally changing how the dollar functions.
Yeah.
In every single viewer's bank account, it's changed right now. And so I just, with everything in me, I just say, be vigilant. Begin to study what this looks like and make good choices with your money because they're taking it.
Yeah, they are. And, going to the new, mainstream news, like if Ukraine and Russia is on the news 24/7, you got to go digging and see what else is happening because
that's what we do all day long.
That it's not important to talk about what's happening over there, but a lot of it is cover for other things. It really is. A lot of the news coverage, you don't trust the media anyway.
Right.
So what are they covering?
As you said, and as we've talked about already in the show, manufactured crises.
Right.
And it's sad that people die because of that. But this thing right here, this thing has just this digital currency, I think should be the number one story in the nation for every American. And I don't think it'll be covered. I think it'll be months, if not a year, till this is actually really uncovered. And I just hope that somebody gets it and runs with it because it's got to be exposed.
Yeah, I hope so. It's time to start passing. Can we pass legislation, in the States to say, hey, we're not going to be doing digital currency here? Or can we do that?
I don't know what the solution is. I wish I had an answer.
Well, that's why we elect people, right? To go figure this stuff out. Go out there and represent us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And say no to this crap. Just like the states that are passing all the anti-ESG laws. Good for you.
And standing up to BlackRock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need states, we need governors, we need legislators who are going to do the things that are in the best interests of the people, not the best interests of the elites.